How things are going to play out, but you know, it's the same thing when those guys left. And nobody knew who Carl Klug was, and you know, Christian Ballard was a young buck playing defensive end, and those guys emerged. So you know, Coach Ferentz always talks about stories, and you know, we're just looking for some stories. But yeah, we feel pretty good about the guys we have. But we'll just see how it plays out.
And Coach Ferentz mentioned in his press conference that if maybe 5 or 6, it might be 6 or 7 guys you're going to see there in the defense line.
Might be 8 to 10.
So who are some of the guys? Who are some of the leaders there?
Well, you know, obviously, I think you look at the guys that have played in games for us. You know, obviously starting with Mike and Broderick. You know, then behind it, you know, Steve Bigak, and you know, LeBron, guys that you know that we've put in the game when the games were still you know, on the line. And you know, you got guys who had some duty last year at the end of ball games. You know, Dominic Elvis, and you know, Tom Nardo. So you know, there's some guys, but it's going to be by committee. You know, we just don't have the, you know, the 290, 285-pound guys that we had with Adrian and Christian. So you know, we're going to have to play a lot more guys. So that's the one thing that's going to be a little bit different. So you know, it might be 6, might be 7, might be 10. You know, who knows? Could be 12. You know, we'll see how it plays out. But definitely, we got to look to play more guys than we have in the past.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Talking about Dom's growth the last couple of years, you know, where he's in the spot to be a starter for you.
We're expecting Dom, you know, to compete just like everybody else around here. But you know, he's really changed his body. You know, I think he's really matured. You know, mentally starting to get that deer in the headlights look outside. So you know, I think a lot of that has to do with the confidence that he gains from what he's done in the weight room, you know, over the summer and the off season, and you know, he's going into his 3rd camp. So you know, hopefully, you know, he has the confidence in himself, you know, that like we have in him, in the belief that he can do it. So you know, just like all these guys, we're expecting these guys to move forward and improve, you know, every single day, you know, especially Dom. We're counting on him.
Prototypical late bloomer, shall we say? It's good. He's really grown into his body the last couple of years.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, obviously we're biased, but you know, I think if you asked around the country, you talk to the NFL, yeah, there's no better strength coach than Coach Doyle, and you know what he does with these guys, you know, from the time they get here, you know, into the time you see him on the field. You know, it's just amazing. But also, you know, we saw some things on Dom, you know, some things you don't have to coach in the way that he's wired, you know, off his high school tape. You know, I know he was injured his senior year, but just from his junior tape, you're saying, yeah, this guy showed some things. You know, he really flashed. So, you know, there's some things that you know, Dom has that you don't have to coach.
But Coach, can you talk a little bit about the options at the other end spot opposite Broderick and some of those guys I'll be, you know, vying for time?
Yeah, you know, like I said, I think it's going to be, you know, a line by committee. You know, we're obviously looking at Dom. You know, we're looking at you know, LeBron Daniel and you know, Joe Gaglione. You know, he's a guy that's been in the program for a while. You know, finally healthy. Been bit by the injury bug a little bit, so it's going to be nice to get Joe out there. You know, we had him through the spring, which was you know, which was good, and you know, so you know, he's a guy that's been around but hasn't had a whole lot of reps. So you know, we're looking forward to seeing what Joe can do. And you know, you also have Joe Forgy, and you know, we might have to flip-flop guys right to left. You know, we like to play guys on one side, but you know, we might not have that luxury. So we'll just see how it all plays out. But you know, we're going into it, and you know, we got 10, 12 guys that, you know, we got to really take a look at that, you know, that we're counting on, and hopefully they can give us some snaps here this fall.
Are there some guys that you're looking at an end and a tackle spot, or that
you know, it really just kind of like everything. I think kind of the way it panned out in 09, we're going to get our best 4 on the field at those times. And so however that pans out, if you know, if we happen to have a situation like we had in 09 where, you know, 4 of our best players and 2 were at end, you know, we might have to kick somebody down inside. But and I think we have the ability to do that with these guys. So you know, we'll just see how it plays out.
Can you talk about Mike Daniels? Seemed like a guy that really burst out and had a breakout year last year and kind of earned his way into that starting spot. Just talk about kind of what he's brought to that.
Well, I think, you know, kind of Mike's same thing. You know, he's the guy that's kind of transformed himself through the weight room. You know, he wrestled at 215 in high school, and you know, he gets up to, you know, 280 pounds. You know, that's a hard adjustment for a guy, and I think he finally started growing to his body, and you learn to be efficient with his body. You know, the one thing, Mike is a little bit like Mitch King, where he gets so anxious, gets so excited, he burns a lot of energy, you know, before the before the first ball snap, so the first snap of the game. So we just kind of calm Mike down and have Mike be efficient with his body. But he's a guy that's been around, and he's been very fortunate. You look at the guys that he's been around here and have played in front of him, from Matt and Mitch, and Adrian, Christian, and Carl. I mean, he's had some pretty good role models. So he's taken that experience and he's trying to get back to the young guys and things that he knows. But I think a lot of it's just the attitude that he takes in the weight room, off the field, and once he gets on the field. I mean, that guy, he's not going to be denied anything, and he just works his tail off and tries to improve each and every day.
I think this time last year, everyone was talking about his personality and kind of his fire that he's got. Does he bring a lot of life to that group?
Yeah. That's got, some guys kind of, like Broderick's a guy that he's a lead by example guy. He's not a rah-rah guy. Mike's a little bit more vocal guy, but he's a vocal guy that produces, and so we're looking for even more production out of Mike, and it's his time. He needs to step up and take on that role, just like all the guys in the past have taken over. Here's Mike. Now he's going to be the Mitch King, the Matt Kroll, the Adrian, the Carl Klug. That's the role that we're looking for Mike to step up and bring those younger guys along. And I think you look at the spring and from what we heard over the summer, and I think he's done a good job with that, and what we saw just in day one of practice. So this is important to him. His legacy and his success and the success of the program. That's important to him, just like it was all the guys prior to him. So he wants to make sure that we accomplish some good things this year.
What did you see out of Broderick last year? Mike kind of comes onto that scene. You obviously had a lot of great guys at the line, and his time got shuffled around a little there. Just kind of how did he handle that all?
No, Broderick was great. Broderick's he's a team guy, and I think. And when you put on the tape, that's the one great thing about football. You put the tape on, and the tape doesn't lie. And Mike was very productive, and I think Broderick was a team guy. Hey, whatever put us in the best position to win football games, Broderick's 100% for. And Broderick had a great attitude, came to work every day, came to get better, and that's all he was concerned about was hey, how's the team performing. But I don't think it affected him very much. I think he looked at it as a pretty good problem, just like we did as a staff, where basically you had 5 starters. So, we looked at it as a positive and a good thing. And, hopefully we get that problem for this year and in the next couple of years to come. So, but no, Broderick's great. I mean, it's he's an unbelievable kid, great attitude. Since the day he walked on campus.
What's kind of the next step for Broderick, or that next level that he needs to get to? Do you feel?
I think just like every single one of the guys we have, whether it's Mike or even the guys that that were here last year. You never master. Once you think you mastered this game, it's time to move on, and you just try to improve every single day. Try to get better and just trying to play more consistent. Across the board. Trying to coach consistent. Trying to get better. We're all trying to get better out here, and that's the tough thing about this game. If it was easy, everybody do it, and but when it's 90 degrees, you're out here practicing. You got to be mentally tough and say, okay, hey, I'm gonna get better. And I think that's the challenge of whether it's a fifth-year senior or a guy just coming into the program. So I think the challenge is the same across the board. Just not being content and just looking on improving, fine-tuning the skills, and looking at your deficiencies. And as a coach, hey, how can we make them better? How can we help these guys? And as a player, they do the things that'll make me better and help me succeed on Saturdays.
You talked earlier about maybe having some different body types this year versus last year, but you go back and look through the history of this program under the Ferentz era. In some years, you're starting Webema and Madison as sophomores and King and Cruel as freshmen, and they were 250. Is it more about, low man wins? Is it more about control of the gap? Is it more about the system, if you will?
I think that's part of it. The one thing that we're going to do, at Iowa is we're going to play with the best 4. We're going to play with 4 down, and we're going to try to keep that 2 shell and cup the ball and not give up big plays. And a lot of times we're a gap short, so we got to do some things to make up for that gap. And when you got some great players like we've had in the past, where you're able to 2 gap, and when you're a little bit undersized, sometimes you have to stunt, you have to do some different things schematically. We're the system that Norm has, it fits the personnel we have. So, and it might be a game plan thing. So, the big thing that we look for is, how's this guy's attitude, his motor, and those things. If you look at the common denominators of all the guys that have been successful, they've all been tough, they've all loved the game, and they've improved that each and every year. So, I think those things, kind of those intangible things, are more what we look for in our defensive line or across the board here at Iowa, and that makes these guys successful. The system's a system, and it's what we do, and all we're trying to do is just find ways to help these guys, in our system. If they're struggling, we got to help them. We got to make a change. So, we got big Carl Davis. He's an inside guy. We usually we haven't had a 300-pound guy, I think, since Colin Cole here. Inside, he's a guy that's going to be competing, for a spot and for some playing time. So it'll be interesting to see. But we're just going to plug in the pieces however they fit.
If Davis rises to the top and earns his spot, what does his size give you? Does it give you more opportunity schematically? Maybe be able to control more space inside and free other guys up?
Well, I think it's just we're probably going to do the same thing that we always do. The thing with Carl, he being a young guy, things like that. I think what's probably going to help us is playing more guys this year. We're going to have to do that in. Obviously Carl being a young guy and understanding tempo and the anxiety, Friday night, getting into that routine, of playing your first season, Carl might get wore down a little bit also. So, our goal is to, we're trying to wear people out just like they're trying to wear us out. We're hoping Carl can fill up space in there. It's nice having a big 300-pound guy. He might not get wore out quite as quick, but we're not going to change, or we're not going to, we don't have things specifically that we're going to do just because now we're playing with a bigger guy in there. We're going to kind of do what we do, and if that's not successful, we're going to have to change. So just like I said, it just goes back to however the pieces fit. It's we're going to operate and go from there.